Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? Guys, we are in the era of getting a bunch of new stuff, so I hope you guys are prepared for it. Because it looks like with what we're getting already, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be entertaining. So we're gonna start with the Infinite Diamosphere or something along those lines. Um, Absolutely interested in the overall worlds of these online VR world animes. I've always been a big fan of them since Sword Art, and then Log Horizon, Excel World, and I'm pretty sure my list can go on if you give me enough time. Um, I have been kind of a big advocate for anything virtual world and hopefully can do it better than what we've seen in the past, or at least uh, hopefully get something that's not as rushed and feels almost as if it can go somewhere for much longer times or periods. So, with that being said, we only get to see so much of this world in the case of our main guy stepping in and getting a quest that was way above his pay grade pretty much, which was interesting to say the least because everybody who has been in this game, everybody who has lived in this town, has somewhat of a relationship with this girl that gives him, our main guy, the quest. Excuse me. In this relationship, with most of them, are just the fact that they're fans of her, and because they like see her as, one of the more pretty and uh, like she just has like a fan club pretty much, and she's an NPC inside of the game. So regardless of how you see it, it was interesting nonetheless to me because she straight up is ranked 210 or something, and somehow some way she wasn't capable of just handling stuff where she was. So that already kind of gave me the thought process that either A, NPCs like in most games are a lot weaker than they come off to be. Like, she's level 210 and she couldn't just like slash one time and destroy these centipedes. So clearly they're either around that level, or even worse, they have some type of ability that just makes it hard for people with swords or something to kill them. But then we see right after that, of course, that that might not even be the case, right? Like we straight up start to see that um, everything that was taking place with him pretty much trying to save the younger sister, he had no chance fighting against these monsters that has shown up. So to know that you have no chance but to still stand and fight, not only stand and fight, but to give something away that may be a saving grace for you at the end of the day if you were to be wearing it yourself and you were to die. A lot of the things he was doing was very unselfish, and I think that is why his overall partner came out and it was like a maid, because it shapes off of his like soul and heart and mind. So everything kind of that he keeps in his head going was the reason why this girl kind of came out the way she did. I'm guessing anyway, and everybody's is probably much different, seeing how whatever things your mind and soul want at certain periods of calling it or creating these spirits. It's probably going to be the tall tale sign. Excuse me. It's probably going to be the tall tale sign of why certain people have much different avatars or much different partners. Um, we also know that this potential that he got and how it was used. I don't know why that car was extra loud. Um, this potential was used in the grand scheme of just having enough power to save this girl, right? Like that was his goal. So the thing about that is that might not even be that strong. Like for example, I was telling you 210 couldn't really just outclass and take them out, like take out these giant centipedes in one hit. Then all of a sudden we have the introduction of his brother, who's playing the game already as a giant weird bear. Um, and because of this, we get a good information on how powerful he is. I mean, he takes out one of the threats that were messing with the girls, and then once these giant centipedes pop out the ground after they think the quest should be over from protecting them, it just goes to show you how ridiculously powerful this brother is. Getting attacked by like three of them at the same time to still come back and pretty much be fine was telling to me. Like, was just kind of one of those signs of like, okay, this guy is much stronger than he's letting off, and that's pretty cool. Just because of the simple fact that um, if his brother was to die in this world at that time, he would have been uh he would have been on a 24 but really a 72-hour cooldown time until you have to log in. So this game has a particular mechanic that makes it feel a lot more realistic with death than not. And because of this death for humans in the game who are just visitors, the actual NPCs within the game, once they are taken out, they're actually gone for good. So it's one of these things now where it has a log horizon feel to it, where any NPC that they were used to seeing every single day that they had played the game, all of a sudden, now that they're in the game and they're stuck in the game, these NPCs were real people, and if they die, they're gone for good. They can't just be brought back to life, or they won't just respawn like how us, the humans, would. So those were the types of things we were starting to see in animes, was a little bit more attention to the side characters, give a little bit more attention to people who are always going to be in the shows and make them more prominent than they have ever been. Not ever been, but make them more prominent than they could be. They could just die, or they could just be there and have no backstory at all. They didn't even have to explain that about the NPCs if they didn't want to. People would still probably watch this show. But because they use it in this manner, it also makes our character give him some personality towards him saying his favorite line that he says like 18 times this week's episode. That would leave a bad taste in my mouth. Ugh. So that was a big, big thing for him, is knowing that he can come back at any time, but the person that he is, trying to protect could not, is not something he's going to stand for. He'd rather take the damage, get broken up, die in the game, instead of letting some NPC die who's going to actually be gone forever. So, really, really cool stuff there. In the case of, it's going to be important to take jobs quicker than, not taking it fast. So, it's one of those things where you get missions and you're like, or the characters get mission, you're like, oh, well, what's going to happen here? And what's the repercussions if something bad happens? Like, all of those things are already on the table now. Hey, it's Ignis. I'm going to have to destroy you because you found another recipe. But I really do love the fact that everything is kind of crazy in this show when it comes down to the NPCs, the monsters showing up the way that they did in this week's episode, and then you have the fact of the matter of what to do with this guy's ultimate ability when it's awakened, seeing how he asked for, like I was saying, the potential to save this girl and take out this monster, but his ability has to do with being attacked. So they really made it a point of showing his life bar going all the way down to red at least three to four times. I mean, one of the times was just because of something this girl did to him that was level 210 by running into him and destroyed his life bar, but she ended up healing him, so he didn't need to use these potions that his brother winds up giving him. But it just goes to show you how much detail they wanted you to pay attention when they show his life bar, because it turned out to be that is the big part of his ability, or at least his partner's ability to give to him, which is vengeance is mine. Um, since he had been hit 3 times very powerfully and almost died, all of that damage he had taken was being transferred into the sword that she becomes, and he absolutely wipes out one of these things very easily. But like I was saying, the brother who was helping with the minigun got attacked by 3 of them. He put his minigun away, so he had some type of plan in mind to like go out there and fight one of them or 2 of them with his like bare hands or something. And then it just turned into him getting like eaten down in this weird like sunken tunnel thing. So we never really got an explanation how he did anything that he did in there, but I'm just guessing that him being at the level that he is and knowing as much as he does, he should have taken him out, or like he said, he maybe just escaped and that was it, which doesn't seem right. Like, we're just gonna say that he escaped them and they didn't come up following him. He clearly took them out so they wouldn't be a threat anymore, right? So that's my thought process on that. But overall, I definitely am watching this show. Like I said, huge advocate for virtual worlds, and not only that, giving the NPCs a better story than they usually get in the case of, hi, I'm an NPC and there's nothing really that important about me. We also know that just by getting papers from them, you wind up getting quests too. So I really do like that. But with all that being said, everybody, I am getting too high on this treasure battle because it's getting ridiculously hard. So I'm going to start having more and more fun losing for you guys. With all that being said, everybody, have an awesome day, night, evening, whatever the case may be when you're watching this. I am your boy, the Anime Jake, and I will definitely talk to you in the next one. So with all that being said, peace.